Hey guys, John here. Hope
Hey
you're all
guys,
well.
John here.
This is Henning.
It's Henning.
I've never done an interview. Well, I've done one interview in my life. This is the second one, so I hope you're honored. And
I
stuff.
am honored. I suck at interviews. People hate my interviews with a passion.
Well, in that case, it should be all right. So we're just going to have some fun. I'm going to ask you some questions and you'll answer. That's how this will go.
Ah, like an interview.
Yes. Okay, so let's talk about Henning before YouTube. What got you started with music and playing guitar and all that stuff? Would be interesting to learn a little bit more about little Henning.
I was about 15 whenever confirmation is.
Mm-hmm.
My brother tried to be very cheap and get something from the bin at MediaMarkt that nobody wanted or whatever that was back then and bought a CD for dirt cheap. You know, little brother, let's not spend too much money. And that happened to be the first Bon Jovi album. And I had a CD player, I had vinyl, I had albums, I had Chris de Burgh, Lady in Red,
Okay, yeah.
and Phil Collins, whatever. I had music and I played music, but I had piano lessons when I was a kid. I hated it. I never understood music was something that was supposed to give you something that emotionally moves you.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody ever told me, and it never did. And I put on that Bon Jovi album, and it was Runaway, first song. You know, Tim Pierce on guitar, you guys know. It wasn't Richard Sambora back then, it was Tim Pierce. And that started, and I was like, what the crap? And everything changed. And then I taped a full 4-hour VHS tape. That's for the kids, that was, you don't know.
Yeah.
And a whole weekend on MTV, Monsters of Rock weekend, in, I think it was England, and it was Whitesnake with Steve Vai playing, and Motley Crue, and Poison, Aerosmith, Bon Jovi, and so the whole weekend was these bands, and I taped that, wrote everything down, and bought those albums.
Mm-hmm.
So that 80s rock stuff, that's how it started. And then it was late 80s, must have been 88, maybe 89. And on January 1st, 1990, I woke up from an especially wild New Year's Eve party where I did not drink anything, but it was what the other people did drink a lot. So woke up in my friend's bedroom next to a poster of Sabotage, Heart of the Mountain King, I think. And no, it was Gutter Ballet, Sabotage Gutter Ballet poster. Woke up on the floor in a sleeping bag, and there was this acoustic guitar leaning against the wall. And my friend had played electric guitar for 6 months already, so he's like, "I'm going to show you this, and you know, you can start playing guitar. You'll never catch up to me, of course," he said. That's funny now. And he showed me an E minor chord on his nylon string, and that was it.
Mm-hmm.
And then 5 days later, we bought my first nylon string, and 6 months later, I was in my first band. And so on and so on and so on. So it was cool. that poster, January 1st, 1990, my first E minor chord.
Isn't it crazy how like your entire life can be changed or formed by one single moment, like hearing one song on the radio or something? In my case, it was Wonderwall by Oasis that inspired me to play guitar or whatever. It's funny how that goes. Like one moment and your life goes in a certain
Everything
direction.
after that point was I was into computers and, and video games. And none of it mattered anymore. It was that Bon Jovi song.
Mm-hmm.
And I always thought, something that I'd like to tell Mr. Jovi. That's his name, Mr. Jovi. And now through the channel and everything, I'm rather well connected, and I'm good friends with Phil X, who happens to play for that band.
Mm-hmm.
I don't ever. He's like, come to the concert, hang backstage, and I'm really afraid because I might fanboy and hump John's leg or something. So he's that song literally is responsible for me being where I am now.
Cool. Did you also grow your hair long? And
Oh
stuff?
yeah,
And,
down
hairspray and shit.
No hairspray, but I had it down to my ass, really long for 10 years until I moved to LA. So during my time at Berkeley, and I had it down to my ass, and I was beautiful.
Cool. We need to see some pictures of that.
Interestingly, there aren't many pictures, which is so weird.
Well, yeah, we didn't have digital cameras back then, so. Okay, so what got you on the YouTube platform? I'd love to know more about how you started with that and why you started with that and how long ago that was. And...
In 11, that's 2011, just in case this is seen in 3029.
Because YouTube started at around...
6.
Okay.
2006.
Yeah.
Right across the street, right there, that's where I grew up. My father died, and I bought the house on the other side of the street, built a studio for recording local bands. Because after my time in the States and LA and doing albums, we skipped all over the stuff where I actually was a popular musician in the progressive metal world. But let's skip that.
Well, we don't have to skip that.
No, it's okay.
Sounds pretty interesting, actually.
So I was the new wonder kid in prog metal for a while, where magazines wrote, Dream Theater has to watch out, but all bullshit. Okay, so I came back, I taught guitar here and produced some local bands, and I said, I'll buy the house on the other side of the street, build an addition and build a studio there. So relatively early in those days, I bought a pedal at Thomann, MXR Dynacomp, because I wanted to do more hybrid picking country stuff. And I know nothing about pedals, still don't, which is really funny. And so I read, what do you need? Oh, for these country things, you need a compressor. What do they all use? MXR Dynacomp. So I bought that, and I had a couple bucks left. And as a guitar teacher, as you well know, we didn't make a lot of money. So Dynacomp wasn't that expensive, but then I saw at Thomann they had this Harley Benton brand. You might have heard about it. And so I bought the OCD clone, whatever it's called. I never remember that thing. And then like an amp in a box Sans amp clone pedal called American Sound. And I ordered these, and they came, and I was like, oh, this actually sounds pretty good for 29 bucks. How is that possible? There's probably nothing about it on the internet. I was not on YouTube. I didn't really care about YouTube. The only thing I did on YouTube was some clips of my dog, so that when Leslie was on vacation and she could still see the dog that I was taking care of. And I think I did 1 or 2 little lessons for a solo I was working on, recorded with the webcam, just, for fun. Nobody was supposed to see that.
Were YouTube reviewers even a thing back then? Like gear reviewers and stuff? Or was that still like...
Gearman Dude, The Tone King.
Oh, yeah.
Phil McKnight was starting out. Andertons. It was a thing.
Okay.
Most gear reviews were point your bad cell phone audio and video at the pedal sitting on your amp. The private people recording this. So, especially for cheap ass China clones, which is what these Harley Benton pedals are, there was content, but it was badly made content because it was content made by people who buy cheap China pedals, which usually was people that don't have a big budget, and they just filmed this with their phone, or very small channels that didn't necessarily already know how to present a product. Now, whatever I do, I try to do it well. So I already had a studio set up. I've recorded 20 albums. I know how to get sound. So that wasn't a problem for me. And I would have never pointed camera audio at a speaker. So I knew how to record. I had actually, and I still have, if you want to see them, it's chaos there, but there are 7 ISO cabs in my basement for speakers. So what we now do by changing an IR, have you heard of IRs?
Yes.
That's for impulse response. It's like when you have a speaker, but it's not really there. It's virtual. It's weird. The times nowadays. So check them out. They're cool. IRs.
I will.
I'll send you a link.
I'll make a note.
Yeah. So I had that, but in real time. So there were 7 speakers in my basement in big boxes, all mic'd up, and all I had to do is plug it into the amp upstairs, and then go on a patch bay and go, I want that speaker. And then
still pretty cool. still pretty cool.
And they're actually still in there. Now I can't get to them because there's crap all over them. There's a box down there for a 412, which I haven't taken down because I'm thinking when the apocalypse comes, that's probably a good place to not die instantly. In there.
Okay. Yeah.
But I have an ISO cab, literally an ISO box for 412.
Cool.
So I could record well, and then I had my student Moritz over, who is a phenomenal guitar player, and I could record my voice well because I'm not a moron, and I've done this for an ad agency for years. I did voiceovers. So I put a mic on the table, had Moritz play, recorded it well, and we showed the pedal, because you have to show the pedal, which sometimes people don't do. So my first video for that pedal, for these two pedals, apparently were pretty damn good because people just immediately loved them and said nobody's done something on that level for these pedals. And it would be funny to look at those videos. Literally the first pedal videos. And
I assume people can check them out.
Yeah, they're there.
Cool.
But they were already decent, and I had worked for an ad agency in LA, so I had done some basic video editing. I think these were edited in maybe. Oh wait, did I have a Mac? I think I did. Laptop. I had a Mac laptop, and I edited in iMovie. But I did that for 2 videos and hated it because I was used to higher end editing software from the days in the ad agency. So even after my 3rd video, I immediately dropped the money for Final Cut. And and people liked the videos. Then I called Thomann and said, look, if you send me the rest of the series, I'll make those videos, that quality, for the rest of the series. And Thomann did. And then I found out that they're Joyo pedals. And I contacted Joyo and said, well, whatever Thomann doesn't have, can you send me that? Because it's easier, and those times it was still hard, but it's easier to get product in trade from China, because for them, that's the investment for the whole video is about $8, because that's how much the pedals cost. And I think my bonus was that nobody for that inexpensive stuff had done anything of any value in terms of higher quality video. Shane from In the Blues in Australia.
Yeah.
He had done the Joyo stuff, and he had done good videos, and I then looked at those as inspiration. I looked at Mike Herman's as inspiration. So these channels, Pro Guitar Shop, which was Andy Martin, who now does the reverb videos.
Oh yeah.
That was Pro Guitar Shop back then. He did the videos for them. So those were inspirations on what to do, what to say. Here's my clean sound, all the typical lines. But that's how it started with these 2 pedals from Harley Benton. I'm not sure I actually ever really plugged in the Dynacomp that actually started it all, and I've definitely never done a video about it, which is pretty funny.
Maybe you can do another video with that pedal, a throwback to to Little Henning or something.
I do have the Dynacomp, and it'll never go anywhere because it's literally what started my, let's say, career.
Cool. So I have a question, but this kind of ties into what we just talked about. The question is, can you talk a little bit about how you got from there to where you are now? And maybe talk about some of the things that, your work ethics, or, how do you grow a channel like you've grown your channel?
You want the absolute honest answer?
Sure.
The politically not correct honest answer?
Yes.
A pretty girl. That's the honest answer.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure that even with my work ethic, and I want the video quality and my background of what I know about music and gear and production and going in depth and all that stuff, that's all good and fine. Men are pigs. They will click on videos with a pretty girl.
I'll make a note.
Yep. Trust me. It is the reason why I'm where I am. I hope it's not the reason why I am still here, why it's still working. But One of my students, Kiana, is pretty damn clever and likes to insult me and throw shit my way. I've been her teacher since she was, I think, 13, 14. And she's fun. We like to hang. Many people were like, oh, is he doing her? Is that his girlfriend? And I'd like to fuck her. You know, I mean, I never erase shit. I never erase bad comments about me. But all that stuff, like really like horrible comments about her, they were erased. And she liked to come over and we made videos together. And because and I think this is a great way to do videos, to be, what in German we say erklärbär videos, explainy videos, which in today's language would be mansplaining videos. But again, that's looking at the situation in a totally fucked up way. Teacher, student. Student's the woman. I explain something. How is that mansplaining? She's literally paying me to teach her these things. But then people are like, oh, why is he, she's not stupid. No, this is why she came. So I explain things about sound to her, explain what MIDI is to her. So by teaching her about gear, I slowed down my explanations to a level where a noob, whether she's a girl, boy, whatever, could understand it. That made the videos very approachable. It was also funny because the banter between us was great. Every time you got two people in a video, it's better because there's banter. There's also, if we did videos on a regular basis, people could hate on me but love you, and vice versa. So you immediately just have a bigger audience. Especially if you're on the heavier side. I mean, you know what I mean. Gain-wise.
Heavier.
So it just widens the audience. So with two people, it's always better. And we had this banter, and she insulted me, and it was fun. Some people wanted to see it the wrong way, but yeah. And we went to Shanghai together to the trade show. We went to the NAMM show together. We did loads of videos, and it was fun. Some people hate some of the videos. For example, there was one video about a Vox amp where I made the whole review, and then I had to teach her how to do it. I had Kiana do it. Now, Kiana doesn't know what a plexi is. Why would she know that? So I explained to her that setting that says something more British. I'm like, that's plexi-ish. So as she's doing the video, I'm behind her, coaching her. And, less gain, more gain. I explained to her what gain means and all that stuff. And then some people want to hate on that video because who is that asshole explaining this to her, and this is really cringy, blah, blah, blah. As soon as you put this is a student and this is a teacher, it looks very different, but maybe we never explained this. Boss released the ES8 looper switcher. Impossible to operate, very, very, very complicated. Boss manuals are shit. So we made a 10 video series and never even touched on MIDI. That's not even in there. We made 10 videos on many, many, many things on how to operate this. And I explained everything to her because that way I made it simple enough.
And you're taking the viewer along for the ride, of course.
And trust me, anyone who has an ES8, pretty much anyone, has seen those videos and thanks me. And everyone says, thank you for those videos because that saved me and that made me able to operate that switcher. So I'm pretty sure that Kiana played a big role in that stage of the channel to grow it past certain numbers. And whether it was because the videos were entertaining, she took the piss out of me and, we made stupid dick jokes, which we did. Or because men are pigs and like to look at a pretty girl, but they would also like to learn something about pedals. And that was the best of both worlds.
Win-win.
Win-win. And people are saying, where's Kiana now? Well, she has a job. She, was done with school. She lives an hour away now. And, She grew up. She's got a boyfriend. She doesn't have time to hang out with an old man talking about pedals, which is fine. But I will guarantee you, if I had made videos with her the last 3 years, my channel would be well over 200,000 because men are pigs.
Well, that certainly is a unique answer. I don't think that if I were to ask this question to other YouTubers that they would have the same answer, but I think honestly everybody in our line of work has a completely different story. So
the fact is, if you want to grow your channel fast,
yeah,
get a girl guitar player in sitting next to you.
but it's also like, it's not like if you ask, other people like us, how did you get started? It's not like they will say like, well, I wanted to make a living with videos on YouTube. It's not like how that starts. I mean, you have to invest years and years.
If I hear that, you know what I will tell you? Stop it.
Yeah.
Don't do it at all, because not that you can't make a living. I'll now make more money than I ever made with. I mean, I've done albums with James Labrie from Dream Theater and Sebastian Asshole-Bach. What? I mean, that's his middle name. And, other people. A singer from Kansas. Big names. Nothing pays me as well as YouTube now does. Not YouTube, the organization. There's a bit YouTube, and there's a bit Toman, and there's a bit the brands, and there's a bit affiliate, and not the shirt company. Those I wear with pride for free. But if you do it because you think, oh, that's a way to make money, I'm going to say 90% of the time, those channels will fail. That's the wrong motivation.
Yeah.
Because you're going to try to hit that 1,000 subscriber goal. And at that point, you can monetize. And then you think, oh, I'm going to make money. And then, oh, you have 2,000 subscribers. Oh, now I charge for videos. And you're going to look like a fool if you have no big value yet and you're going to companies. You're going to burn the candle very fast and very bright. And then the companies will, if you come back 5 years later, it's the guy that was pretty full of himself, asking for money with 2,000 subscribers and stuff like this. I didn't charge anything until I had 30,000 subscribers. Not a dime. That has changed nowadays. And then I charge $200 a video. What a joke. And so if I've met some people that had not yet anything to offer in the terms of YouTube, they made decent videos, but it was, there's still something to learn, some stuff to improve, and no subscribers. And they were talking as if they're the big shot, and I'm doing YouTube for a living. I'm thinking, no. You do this because of a passion. I loved doing those videos. And Leslie and I, we weren't living together, and I did the videos, put them on my really slow-ass Apple laptop, and went to her place, and until late in the night, with a stupid touchpad, was editing the videos. And I enjoyed doing that. And if it then grows out somewhere, then think about what you do. With anything YouTube.
Yeah.
Do it because you're passionate about it. If you're trying to chase the algorithm, and I got to do this on Instagram, I got to be on TikTok, and the metrics, and let's learn about that. Just do it because you like it.
Yeah.
Talk about it as if you like it. And do it with passion.
Yeah.
And love for the thing. If it then turns into something, take 1 day off of work. Reduce your hours and do a little bit more. And then I gave up one music school. I gave up the second music school, then slowly reduced private students. And there was a big jump to say, I'm going to do this professionally full time, because all of a sudden, where's my health insurance? You got a big bill all of a sudden every month for your health insurance and, retirement, blah, blah, blah. But I did that when there was when the work that I had to do for teaching was actually costing me money. Because those days I could have actually done videos which would have paid more than the work that I that I did at the music school. But never do YouTube because you think you're going to grow a multi-million-dollar channel.
I mean, what you said about the passion, that's so important, because when you have the passion, then you also don't mind to work in the evening or work in the weekend because you want it, because it's your hobby. It's because it's what you love doing, instead of going like, oh, okay, today I'm going to allow myself to work for 2 hours because I want to grow my channel or whatever. That's not how it works.
YouTube is not something you do if you want free time. You're going to be self-employed.
Yeah.
And today is Saturday, and I've got this person in my house. Yesterday, someone said to me, have a nice weekend. And I don't even correct them anymore, but we don't have weekends.
We did have a nice lunch, though. So that was...
That was business.
Yeah, we talked
But
about
Christmas, New Year's, birthdays. Leslie and I got married. We had Indian food at noon. And in the afternoon, we made videos on our wedding day.
Wow.
So it's every day.
Yeah.
And if you do this, how do you go on vacation for 2 weeks? You're just going to leave the channel sitting there without videos? You can't do that, because you come home and there's a big hole in your account because those 2 weeks didn't generate YouTube income, affiliate income. So you have to work twice as hard for a month before you go on a vacation.
Yep.
Because you have to feed the channel.
Yep. Yeah.
And you got kids, and I don't even know how you do that. I mean, I know how you get the kids. I've seen videos, not of him. I mean, in general, I've seen. I know the system, but yeah,
you've heard about it.
I read this informational material online. It's a lot of work. It's not. Look at Mr. Beast. 200 million subscribers. That's just one channel, right? The guy makes billions, literally billions. Someone offered him several billion for his channel. The thing is, it's worth that much yearly, probably. So each video costs millions now. But the thing is, here's someone that you really can't fault, or someone that you can't be mad at. There's a lot of the Instagram and TikTok influencer generation where you can just go like, dude, just get a freaking job, you're lame. And where you can hate on them, because no talent hacks that have followers because people are dumb. But Mr. Beast does great things. The videos are good. And he's got all the money in the world. Like, literally can do anything. Do you know where he lives?
I don't follow him.
So there's a warehouse that they bought. It's one of the biggest empty spaces you can see anywhere. And they even took, I don't know how they did it, the columns out. So it's completely free. In the warehouse, there's the accounting team. He's got about 150 people working for him. He actually bought part of a small town, completely bought half the small town, and has all of his people that work for him living there rent-free. The guy's cool. So the thing is, they live in houses. He lives next to the accounting offices in a room that's about twice the size of this, if even. There's a bed in it and a desk, and there's a bathroom. It's a studio apartment. It's one room and a bathroom, and there's a bed and a desk. And that's where he lives. And he says, why? I don't need Ferraris and Lamborghinis. Why would I need a house? I'm thinking about the next YouTube video every day. I am living YouTube every day. If I have a house, what am I going to do there? Play video games, whatever? No. I'm gonna wake up in the morning, I'm doing YouTube, and I go to bed and I'll still think about the next video. So he could retire right now, never have to work in his life anymore, sit on an island, buy anything he would want. He's got a work ethic where he thinks about the next video, because he knows the next video might bring in a few million that he can invest in wells in Africa, in all these humanitarian things he does. And he's obsessed with just doing more great content. And doing YouTube, if you do it right, you do not have weekends.
Well, that guy is certainly intense, but that's something to have a lot of respect for.
He is definitely someone that anyone can look up to and say, if you look at the super rich, he doesn't behave like it.
He doesn't have a tap made out of rare gold or something, you know.
He lives in one room,
Yeah.
and he does stupid shit videos. But when people say, why are you wasting all this money, you know, blowing up trains or whatever, then he says, well, go to channel 2, where he literally has a video about building 100 wells in Africa. Cost millions and millions. Doesn't care. He bought hearing aids. He buys people houses. He gets people off the street. He does so many good things with the stupid stuff that he does on the other channel. It's hard to criticize someone like that.
That's awesome.
But he is where he is because of that super determination.
Yeah. Yeah.
The way that he came up was his first videos were him in his bedroom as a kid, 18, 19, whatever. It's not that long ago. Just doing stupid videos where counting 200,000. And he's just sitting in front of a camera, webcam, and nonstop counts to 100,000. Or being awake for 24 hours. Or these stupid like endurance tests.
Yeah.
And who watches that? I don't know. But to do that and pull that off for a video, you already have to be so determined that no matter what this guy picks up, of course will be successful, because the determination to do that kind of thing. See, I phone in my videos. So I wouldn't have the stamina to count to 100,000.
Wow. Well, it's impressive and definitely something to look up to as an example of how extreme you can go, you know. So that's really cool. So this leads me kind of to my next question, kind of. If you could go back in time and give Henning, you know, as an early YouTuber, some advice, is there any advice that you would give yourself, like, let's say 10 years ago, or?
Install a porn blocker, because you get a lot more done. That would be my advice number 1. No advice, because I am where I am. I don't have the really big channel, but I do reviews, and they don't get, you know, millions of subscribers because it's just not what happens. Possibly, I don't know. Pretty happy where I am. Could say don't buy that many cameras, but that's stupid because it allows me to have the workflow that I have. Also, the studios and the cameras are there so that I can do gear streets where I need 3 different studios. So I don't know. Maybe I would say some people in the industry are assholes, be careful. But by working with these assholes and then finding out that they're assholes, also those times opened some doors and opportunities that without the assholes maybe wouldn't be open.
Yeah.
And you just have to run through and close the door so the asshole can't follow you.
Yeah, but the negative experiences are the learning experiences, right?
I would say that I probably would rather have a channel that's about music instead of gear.
Okay.
Because I don't know about gear, and I don't really give a shit, because it'll all do the job. And once you have a gear channel, then you have the gear nerds watching you, and they want to buy things because they think buying something will make them a better guitar player, which isn't true. Being, you know, practicing is going to make you a better guitar player, and learning about music and arranging and writing songs. But the problem is, once you have an established gear channel, nobody on your channel, the viewers, will give a crap about anything music related.
Yeah.
I post music, that's kind of the music videos. Like, you know, when I do a produced track I'm really proud of, I upload that separately. And that's a full anamorphically filmed 6K video, highest quality shit, great production of a great song. Nobody cares, gets 1,500 clicks. You know, we want to hear you talk about why you hate Marshall, or we want to see you twiddle the knobs on a tube screamer. That'll get the clicks. But here's what I actually do with the tube screamer. Oh no, music. We're not interested in music. You know, so that content does badly. I'm technically a much better guitar teacher, arranging or production teacher than I am someone that tells people about gear. But if I put that content on the channel, it sucks. People don't want to see it.
Mm-hmm.
Teaching channels in general have a higher chance of more subscribers. Oh, Tim Pierce is probably a bad example because he's Tim Pierce, but Robert Baker, David Wallerman, Ben Eller, Paul David, they all talk about this is a better way to play this riff, or let's look at finger picking, why this finger picking messed me up or whatever, or 7 better ways to use EQ in your metal production.
It's also very timeless. I mean, a pedal will be relevant for a certain period of time until the next version comes out or the next best thing, of course. So, yeah.
So teaching content does better in terms of clicks and views and all that stuff, but you can't really mix it. When Robert Baker does gear, people don't care.
Yeah.
When I do lesson stuff, people don't care. And I have courses available at specteracademy.net. We'll link below. And we should get you signed up for that affiliate program at specteracademy.net, where you can buy my courses. But the people that have bought my courses at specteracademy.net, have you opened the website yet? What's wrong with you? Go there. They love them. They say it's great. So I'm good at that. On my channel, completely misplaced. So would I tell myself, getting back to your question, don't get into gear, do lesson stuff. Because you're a musician first, you're an arranger, you know this stuff, go talk about this. I don't know, because then I have to depend on YouTube clicks and money. Yes, later on sponsorships would have been possible, but it would have been a much stonier road to get there. And you also need to, when you have a channel like this, always come up with new content.
Yeah.
Now let's look at Music is Win. Tyler Larson. Tyler's a cool guy. People hate on him for his playing. I'm pretty impressed by his playing. He went to freaking Berkeley. He can play. I don't like his camera angle, but that's a different thing. But he does the memes a lot. 5 things at Guitar Center, whatever. He does these clickbaity, you won't believe what I found in this guitar. So he's got some he's YouTube-y kind of glammy content. But you have to come up with the next video. You have to come up with the next. He was grabbing a glass guitar. Okay, yeah, aluminum neck. Let's get the next clickbait worthy kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Then because of the size of his channels, he could interview Petrucci and Vai and Satriani. So great, he had interviews on his channel. So okay, more food for the channel. But that pressure of I've already done everything. What the crap can I come up with next? That's massive pressure.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Lately, sorry, Tyler, he's regurgitated content. His Instagram is literally videos uploaded again, the same meme type videos that he did 2 or 3 years ago. He's going through all of his old files and uploading them again because Jared Dines. The 5 funny pictures when you play solos. 5 faces. 5 funny, and then he plays drums. The 10 stupid drummer poses. Okay. But you run out of ideas.
Yeah.
And it made him huge, millions of subscribers. But within the metal genre, metal memes for guitar and bass and maybe scream vocals, he runs out of ideas.
Yeah.
And that puts a lot of pressure on the content creator, right?
Seems like a big challenge for sure.
So you're always worried, what am I going to do in the next video? What funny thing can I come up with? We've done the faces, we've done the poses, we've done the stupid guitars, we've done the questions, we've done the here are things guitar YouTubers say, But for us, none of that. Because the next piece of gear comes out tomorrow. The next Tube Screamer is around the corner. The next amp is, we just talked about, the new which we're both going to review. Sorry, Jürgen, cat's out of the bag. I'm an ass. But you know what? That's the thing is, it's a grind, and it's the next amp, and it's the next guitar. All these strings are great, but it's a guaranteed next topic for a video. Because the neural update's coming, so here's a video. You know, we don't have to generate clever shit because
we'll cut this out.
yeah.
Does it happen a lot when you're shooting videos and the UPS guy or something? Deliveries.
Oh, that happens all the time. But that's easily cut out. Where are we?
Okay, let's go to the next question. Gather your breath. So, do you think it's harder now for new YouTubers to grow a channel?
Absolutely. In the guitar world, it's super, super busy. Wait, door's open. Completely busy.
You want to wait and do the question over? Or?
No, I'm back. Yes, don't do it. We need jobs.
Don't do it.
If you come in the business, then and you're better than us, then we have to find you, beat you up. That's not. I mean, what does it? Imagine what that looks like to your girlfriend, to your neighbors, when someone dressed like this shows up and beats your sorry ass. And you're lying there with your bleeding eye and stuff and crying like a little baby. And they're going to go like, you let this guy beat you up? This guy? See, that looks really bad for you. So I'd say, do not start a guitar channel.
Don't take the risk.
Nope.
No. Okay, that's a fair answer. Okay, so what's one of the main things that you would like to change, if you could, about this line of work, if you had the chance?
Less assholes in the industry.
Fair.
Less. I'm an idealist. Less of that business bullshit in the industry. Less of the, we're going to sue you because we make authentic guitars. Mafia methods and shit like this. Less of Fender firing 300 people overnight because they miscalculated how many guitars they made during COVID. And they're going to, just because they're a greedy company, put 300 people on the street. And then I mention it in a video, and then they never talk to me again. Which is fair. It's their right to not talk to me, but it's also, I think, my responsibility to point out that, you're buying a guitar from people that fired 300 people. Less of that. More balls. Like all these shops, they're all carrying Gibsons because we have to otherwise. What otherwise? If you do your job right as a shop and as a salesman, and someone comes in and says, I want a Les Paul, and you offer them the right options. You say, look, you can, there's an ESP that you can buy, which is great if you're into the heavier stuff. You want to really the Les Paul from the people that really built them. Here's a heritage. You want to have something, really great, but fair value. Here's a Maybach, here's an Eastman. Give people those options. I think they would still sell. If all the shops had the balls to say no mafia methods, no extortion, no stupid-ass lawsuits, Thomann did it for 1 year. They threatened to sue over the Harley Bentons and then say, well, we'll sue you, or you'll take this contract, and the contract was literally Thomann would have to buy whatever Gibson wants them to buy. And if it would have been 70 pink Nighthawks that nobody would have ever wanted, Thomann would have had to buy those. So they were trying to put pressure on Thomann by offering this ridiculous contract. And Hans Thomann had the balls to say, well, I guess we don't carry Gibson anymore. And for 1 year, there was no Gibson at Thomann. And you know what? They still survived. So I want to see more balls against companies that are resting on their laurels and, just saying, well, we have the heritage and blah, blah. No. Make good instruments and people will come. Not, we used to make good instruments back then. Now it's all shit, but we're going to raise the prices and make them really expensive. And also we're going to do these extortion deals. There are dealers who get a pallet of Gibsons outside and then get told, oh, by the way, by Monday, you're paying $120,000. Then that dealer because he doesn't want to lose his Gibson dealership or Fender or whatever, will cancel the orders of lots of small builders that he already had, where he ordered instruments because he said, I don't have money. I have to pay this Gibson shipment. I have no choice. I don't even know what's in it. But I have to buy it. I mean, in what world do we just have to buy a mystery box of guitars without, no, you as a customer, you as a shop, you order what you want to order, right? And what you think your clients will buy. And the colors, no, Gibson will send you whatever they think you deserve. And then you have to pay. And then you can't honor your deals to all these beautiful luthiers that do it with a passion. So I would like less corporate bullshit in this world, because
in an industry that's about passion, about enjoying the music and the instruments.
I mean, I shouldn't be disillusioned when I find these instances. I work with distributors. You know what? There's very little passion with distributors. I mean, it's not true. Some of them are highly passionate, but in the end, they don't make the instruments. They don't play them in the end. They don't really talk to the customer and see the happy faces of the family walking out with a new guitar. They're the middlemen. They're very important middlemen. But for them, it's sales. For them, it's a very business. I mean, it's the insurance sales guy in the, in the silver or black car that, pedals from shop to shop. But sometimes there, it's very bottom line. We talked about this, some distributors, well, we can't work with you anymore because you're too expensive. And we look at the numbers, and so someone that I've worked with for 10 years, and you feel like, where's the loyalty? Where's the, we've done this together. I helped you find new brands, talk to them, and we booked this video. And it was a togetherness, and we did this together. And all of a sudden, oh, you're $50 more expensive than last month. Oh, we can't work with you anymore. So this let's look at the bottom line, and we stop being humans. That really bothers me. Yeah. And some companies where it's just Gibson, Fender, big corporate stuff. It bothers me to find out some things about some companies where I go like, I wish I didn't know that. Because I have this ethic thing where I want to look in the mirror and know I work with good companies. And sometimes there's certain things where I go like, I cannot touch their gear anymore because it's just, I don't want to support what they stand for. Like when you know that a company spent tens of thousands to stop the law that made gay marriage possible in California. They campaigned against gay marriage in California with money that in tiniest part was made because I made positive videos about their gear because it was good gear. So that means I helped them make money, doesn't matter how small. And some of that money, maybe it was a buck, who knows, went against gay marriage. So I was partially responsible for that. So I can't support a company like that. So that means those videos from that company, I don't know if I took them off the channel, but I definitely do not do anymore. All the gear was sold. Yeah. So trust me, sometimes the less you know, the happier you are.
In the end, we're human beings and we have to treat each other as such, right?
And I love working with companies where so far I know nothing about, they kick grandmas in the street and stuff like this. I like good people.
Yeah. And if people know that there are good people behind a brand, in the end, that will be better for the brand anyway. People will have more faith in the brand and they will have a better feeling about spending money on the brand. So it's better for everybody to be a good person, right? Next question. What do you love the most about this job? Just one simple thing, what comes to mind.
Meeting people like you.
Oh, that's the best answer that you could possibly give, of course.
Just like how you have sometimes, assholes in this in this industry, but I made friends, and it's so nice of you put together the something rock board, something rock and metal. I never know what it's. That thing that's a long name.
It's a Facebook group. You should join, by the way.
The Facebook group, yeah. And then you put together a private chat of some YouTube channels. Just like, what I did years ago with some other channels, but the channels you put together, I didn't know. So, there was a whole sub-community in the community that I'm now introduced to. And some of them are coming to Gearstrip this year. And before I did these YouTube events, before I did GitCon, it's almost impossible to believe, but none of the guitar channels talk to each other.
Okay.
Can you imagine that? Can you imagine a world where the YouTube guitar channels maybe glanced at each other at NAMM? Oh, I've seen you somewhere. Oh, okay, that was it. Robert Baker and I, we talked. Glenn and I, we talked. Because he lost his voice and I gave him a thing to suck on and made a joke and held his camera for a video. And so a friendship started. But nobody talked to each other. Steve from Boston, Phil McKnight, we saw each other at NAMM before, but there weren't friendships. And now it's almost impossible. But before GitCon, before I did these YouTube events, everyone did their own thing.
Is it like a rivalry?
No, it was just we don't know each other. And nobody ever thought about that we should possibly talk to each other because it would be beneficial to all of us.
Yeah. And
again, now it's unfathomable that was the case, but fathom it. Fathom away, people. Now you weren't there because, I didn't like you at the time. But I took 10 YouTube channels on a freaking, island.
Oh, yeah.
And stuff. And these things seem normal now somehow. But the friendships. We talk daily. Carlos, Glenn, Andy, we all hang out online. And you and your group, you actually talk about gear, which is just so weird. We usually talk about, we try to step away from gear and talk about the job or upload schedules, or do you like that thumbnail?
Yeah.
But you are all so much into the amps that it's sickening and disgusting.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I guess. Okay, what do you hate the most about this work?
Being so busy and having, thinking that I might possibly be missing out on things that I might regret at some point. Like Leslie walks the dogs in the morning and sends me this amazing sunrise over the town. And I'm like, I missed that. Probably I should have been there. But then I would have had to walk the dogs in the morning. But I missed that. Or I'm editing a video and she's taking the dogs to the river. And then she sends me these beautiful pictures of especially in the water. I'm like, well, probably should have been there for that. But had to edit this video. Yeah. So there's some great opportunities. We did the 70,000 tons of metal. Carlos and I went to that cruise. It was horrible, but it was also a metal cruise. So it was fun. But, on NAMM or the island, those are great opportunities that you have because of it. Yeah. But I do miss things in our private life that I wish I didn't miss. And probably for normal people with a normal job, it's Friday, cha-chink, I clock out. Yeah. And then when you're not at work, for most people, work isn't happening. You're at home. Yeah. You can absolutely relax. Even if it's 8 o'clock or 9 or 8:30 or whenever, unless he says dinner, stop working, I know I could add 3 hours, 4 hours instead of sitting on the couch. I know I could finish that video and get it out sooner. On a weekend, of course I can take a weekend off. But then I constantly have that thing on my shoulder saying, yeah, but there's videos that need to be done and product shots need to be done. And you could be working on this and you could be working on this. You could be writing more emails. You could be so it's this constant, you can do more. And it never stops. And having a paycheck that's fixed and you get this, even though on the weekends you do not work, that is a blessing, which we don't have. If we work more, we make more money. It's a workaholic.
I can relate, definitely. but also I force myself to have some free time to either, spend time with the kids or watch a movie, or I mean, otherwise I would go absolutely nuts.
But you do a shit ton of videos, and they're really involved videos. I look at your stuff and go like, how? How does it? I know how much work it is.
Yeah.
How do you pull off that workload?
I don't know. I just work really hard.
Yeah, you do.
But still, you need more hobbies.
I have my unicycle. I ride electric unicycles.
Unicycle.
One wheel. I'll show you.
Okay, cool. Okay, let's move on because this already is a very long video, but it's going to be even longer. So grab your popcorn and wake up. Name one thing about playing guitar as a whole, or not playing guitar per se, but like the industry, like the experience of playing guitar these days that could be improved upon. Is there like one thing that you can think of, like, this could be better? Like a general thing.
Play slower.
It's a good one. Especially on Instagram, you mean? Like...
We talked, I talked about that in the in Tube Amps video.
Mm-hmm.
I do believe that the feedback we're getting from the technology, the neurals and fractals, fractal audio, get it? Fractal. I stole that joke from Leslie. I'm going to do that in my fractal videos. I'm going to say they're fractal videos. I think that's funny. All that stuff, it sounds phenomenal. But it sounds through headphones. It sounds with little speakers on the table. It's not, even a 2-watt tube amp in a room is going to destroy any neural DSP because it just fills the room and it's big. So you take a 50-watt amp in a room, that is a feeling that has absolutely zero to do with playing software in your DAW or a modeler, or it's a completely different experience. Says the guy who never really has that experience because I'm scared of the volume. But that experience makes you slow down. That experience makes you enjoy the big A chord and just sit there and go like, rock and roll,
Yeah.
And I guarantee you, if you put those players in a room with a plexi and a 412, they're going to play that big A chord and have a big ass smile on their face. Yet, if you put them in their Instagram videos with their modeler, they do the trick. And it's amazing what they can do. It's the biggest respect to any player that has that ability. But where's the music? It's all indistinguishably fast with the arpeggio here, and I do the tap here on, last notes, and you do. It's all amazing, but it's all equally amazingly boring. You have Bryan Adams. What's that Bryan Adams song from the Musketeers?
Dude.
Come on. Take me as I am. Okay, it is called All for Love. What a mind-blowing song. And if you listen to the guitar tone and the playing in there's no fast. Memorable solos, Where are the memorable solos and where are the memorable riffs? Now, gent riffs. You look at John Brown, not you, John Brown, the real John Brown.
Not the other John Brown.
Not the other John Brown. The John Brown that has hair. Sorry, John. Other John, hey, John.
All the John Browns.
All the John Browns.
You're all cool.
They're all cool. But John Brown playing, it's mind-blowing shit. He knows what he's doing, and it's fascinating. He will be the first one to tell you that it's all indistinguishable. It's indistinguishably fast and just all filled with notes. And Miles Davis said, music is what happens in between the notes. But the problem is we don't have an in between the notes anymore.
Yeah.
We don't have a rest, play. We have a play. And those riffs, and I've done them. It's fun. But it's just a gobble of all these notes.
Yeah, those types of riffs, I like it more when it's like used sparingly. when you have a song and then all of a sudden there's this section with a very groovy riff and then you go back to the chorus or something instead of having like a whole song.
Because it's all so busy and it's all so low where note definition isn't so clear anymore. So you have it's more difficult to hear what's the pitch of the note. It's more difficult to hear because the notes are so fast, usually with some kind of drone on the lowest string, because that's how we play nowadays, that they become indistinguishable in their style because it's all 16th note all the way through.
Yeah.
And you've got drone, something, something, drone, something, something. But honestly, what the something, something is, because the drone defines, well, here we have that low note. Now, Paranoid, that's a riff, right? Raise Your Hands, Bon Jovi. That's you'll hear it immediately. Even stuff from Nickelback, riffs.
Dude, I
mean,
like Nickelback.
Breaking the Law. Now that's a riff.
Yeah.
Instantly recognizable. Da, da, da. The first three notes, one, two, three. It's F, G, A. Those three notes, and you know what I'm going to play. AC/DC, Highway to Hell. Da, da, da. It's a freaking A, right? I can do da, 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 and not anything else, but you know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
That is not going to be the case for any modern metal riff. If I play the first three notes of any modern metal riff, there's no way even you as a hardcore fan of the band will be able to say, that's that song. The recognizability of guitar parts, because we have so much more of it, but also so many more notes in it, is got a Black Dog, you know? But that's Black Dog.
Yeah.
We know that. I think guitar players should slow down again and try to write memorable riffs.
Yeah. Dude, I love riffs. And you know what's funny? Like, the simple stuff is often also very relatable. Like, sometimes I write a little song for my audience for a video and I think like, it's a little bit basic, but I like it or whatever, you know? And then the viewers are like, wow, the riff was like so cool. And then I'm like, oh, okay, I guess they like the simple stuff.
The simplest shit, I've done like AC/DC style songs on the channel that are literally I can just start playing and there's a song. And then if I don't question it at all, I just play and okay, we're done. Those are the songs that people go like, whoa, where can I buy this?
Yeah.
And all the stuff that's very busy, again, it becomes indistinguishable. It's fun, just like prog. I've done a lot of prog. It's fun. It's fun to do the 7/8. It's fun to do lots of notes. It's fun to do fast. Is it musically satisfying for the people listening? I think a lot of this stuff is masturbation. You do it for yourself, with yourself. But maybe don't put it on Instagram or upload it on YouTube because it's just, it'll all sound the same. It's all equally impressive though. I look at John Brown and I go like, holy fuck, amazing. But I've listened to Monuments. Sorry, John Brown. And he knows this. I tell him this. I listen to Monuments and I'm massively impressed. I'm enjoying it, but I could in no way listen to the album again and even kind of tell you that I've heard those songs. I would have to hear it, I don't know how many times. And then if you played me the riff from one of the songs, I would not be able to tell you that is a riff from that album. It's all a mishmash of notes.
Yeah. Talking about progressive music, that's, I think, a strong thing about Dream Theater, which is a band that I enjoy, is they have like influences like the Beatles and stuff and their choruses, and they have like simple song structures, and they also have songs that are like very simple, and then all of a sudden there's like the bridge and they do the crazy stuff, but then they go back to the chorus and stuff. I think that's one of the reasons why they are so successful, is they have a very good blend of all the progressive stuff, which attracts all the instrumentalists, but then they also have the recognizable choruses and the melodies and stuff. I mean, they are a very successful progressive.
Yeah, recognize it. On the old albums, yes. Recognizable choruses. On the new ones,
less, a little bit less. Yeah, that's true. But I am going to see the reunion show with Mike Portnoy. Should be fun. I don't know if you're into them at all, but I used to be.
I mean, I only did 2 albums with James LaBrie, so, you know, I don't know if I'm into Dream Theater. I don't know.
Well, dude, that's awesome. I'm gonna ask you about that later. Cool. What album? Which albums?
Frame Shift, Unweaving the Rainbow, and Baby Steps.
Cool. I'm gonna check those out. That's awesome. I think I checked one of his albums out. It was like a really heavy album, and not one of the ones you mentioned, I think, but I liked it. I mean, I like him as a singer. I think he's cool. Moving on, because I'm not going to be able to cover all these questions because
I'm going to go really fast now. Go. We can do this. Come on.
Okay. What's a piece of gear or brand that you've never reviewed but that you'd love to review?
Generally, I really like PS guitars. Good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But they're not really keen on me or YouTube in general.
Mm-hmm.
That's Paul himself, who's crazy. But one of my favorite guitars is a PS.
Yeah. That's a good answer.
Yep.
I would also love to review the MT100, by the way, just saying. Name one or two of the best/favorite amps you've ever played or owned.
Doesn't exist. Because what style? For what? For what purpose?
For you. For Henning. And just the thing that comes up first. Don't think about it too much. What's a wonderful amp? What comes to mind?
Tone King, Sky King.
Okay.
I've had that in thousands of videos.
Mm-hmm.
Put that on clean. Probably the best pedal platform you can have.
That's a great answer. Do you think that tube amps are dying?
Yes, but they shouldn't.
I love that you added that. What does the tube amp industry need to do in order to survive? And these are quite important questions, by the way, but I think this is really interesting. But what do they need to do?
I mean, what's in my head right now is horrible, but I'm going to say it because I don't filter myself. Remember when I talked about you need pretty girls in YouTube videos? You know, I mean, not sell pretty girls along with the amps because that's human trafficking, illegal. And we do not support human trafficking anymore. What? I'm not. Nothing. No. Thinking of the Dutch, they probably did shit like that. Okay. okay. Don't cut that out because it's funny. No. I don't know. Put bras on the amps. That's also not right. What do they need to do to survive? You know what? Very simple. Put the modeler kits and the software kits in a room with a real tube amp for 5 minutes. That's all they need to do. Because that feeling, you will never, ever get. There's a fractal back there, okay? We like fractal audio.
We like the digital. We like tube amps.
But you put this into whatever FR you can afford, it'll never sound like a tube amp in the room. It just doesn't. And that means you will play differently. You will play different parts. If you want to write inspired music with a band, I'm sorry, I hate volume, but crank it up, get in that room with a 112 and a 50 watt amp, and you don't need the 412s. You know, just crank it up and make music with this simple equipment. You will write completely differently. If they put the kids in rooms with real amps, I had some kid here said, I have 3 Aristides, so the kids got money, right? So I'm like, what do you play with? Well, I've got a Helix. I'm like, and? Well, all I know is a Helix. So this kid plays modern, 7-string, 8-string stuff, but never ever experienced, I'm sorry, but real guitar playing.
Yeah.
Because headphones on, little speaker in a room, but never actually experienced what it's like to play a real tube amp. So I turned on, I think, the Friedman something, with a 112 cab, and had him play through it, and he's like, what the fuck? I'm like, yeah, that's what it's like. He's like, that is something completely different. He's never experienced it. If tube amp companies want the kids back, abduct them, human traffic the guitar players into your factories or shops, and have them play for 5 minutes. The next thing they will want to buy is some low wattage tube amp, or maybe a high wattage tube amp.
I will say though that if you have experience with a real tube amplifier, your entire view of a modeler will also change It puts things in perspective, and it gives you a baseline of how
You know where you want to go.
Yeah.
Without having done that, you don't actually know what it's supposed to sound like. I made a video, you might have seen that, about how to get good guitar sound. And it's all easy. Nowadays, if you can't get a good guitar sound, there's a single thing standing between you and a great guitar sound, and that's you not knowing what a great guitar sound is. Because all these tools we have, whether they're mics and the great stands and the good mics and the good amps and the amps with the 2 notes in it and the amps with the IR loader in it. IR is like when you do speaker simulation.
Okay.
Look it up. And the software, it is so easy to get amazing guitar sounds nowadays. The only reason why some guitar sounds from some people are shit is because they think it is good. They don't know where they're supposed to go. They don't know what the target is. And since the gear, especially the fractal thing, allows you to do literally anything, the world's your oyster, but you don't know where you're going.
Yeah.
So once you know, oh, wait, that's the feeling I'm trying to recreate, then you don't need all these options. You're going to go, okay, I need this cab, this. How do I get it to be slightly in the room? Done. But you have to have experienced that to know where you're going.
One of the things that sometimes my viewers bring up, so that's you guys, is that, but it's so expensive. That's what they say, as an excuse for not getting it.
I'm going to say what, it's horrible, I'm so sorry, but I'm going to again say the first thing that came into my mind. Don't be whiny little bitches. Because you want the real experience, but it's too expensive. You want to drive a fast car, then you need to buy a fast car.
Yeah, but not all tube amplifiers are expensive.
And that's the thing. You could buy a 20-watt head.
Yeah.
Some Black Star thing used for $300.
Yeah.
20 watts is already plenty loud.
Yeah.
And put that on a 112 from Hardy Benton.
Sure.
And then there's your $600. Well, doesn't have effects. Doesn't have anything. Might have one channel. But you know what? One channel and a volume knob. I mean, people that haven't played with a real tube amp, how many of them are actually using volume knobs with modelers? I would like to know that. Because the modelers do respond to volume knobs, but...
What's a volume knob? Yeah.
Right, I know what you're saying. I asked, looking up volume knob.
Okay, carry on. Let's carry on.
My Wayward Son. It's a song.
Where do you think digital modeling will go in the future in terms of how it will evolve? Do you think it's just going to, is the CPU power going to improve? Or do you think that there needs to be a change in order for that industry to keep evolving?
No, we're already there. We're already indistinguishable from a recorded, which is the important thing, a recorded tube amp. I don't think it'll get to where it sounds like a tube amp in the room, unless you're going through a tube amp.
Yeah.
There's a Fryette power station right there. If you're taking a Helix or your UA Lion, which is amazing, through that, that's a Marshall right there in the room. But I'm employing tubes. In terms of what my tube amp recorded through a mic or IR, which is like a simulation, I think it's not funny. What that sounds like through monitor speakers compared to the fully modeled amp, that's already the same. That's already the same. Some of the modelers, a few of the modelers give you the actual feeling, feedback, rock and roll, aliveness. I think the fractal thing is amazing. It's missing some unquantifiable thing to make it fully rock and roll. I think the UA Lion has that. So modelers can do that. They can have all the liveliness of a tube amp, but not in the room. So recorded, we're already there. I don't think more processing power will give us. We're already there. We got it.
Yeah.
Cabs, we fully got it. A recorded cab versus a simulation, whether that is speaker modeling like UA is doing, or IR, which stands for impulse response, or whatever, that's already there. And I know this because I did the revv D40 in the beautiful blue that's out there. and I mic the cap, and preset number 1 in there on the embedded 2 notes is that cap. And I edited the video and I switched between my miking and that DI out, and it was absolutely zero difference, which is amazing because clearly I used different mics, different room, but I switched back and forth, and it was indistinguishable. So I know from personal experience that whatever you guys are saying, oh, you're using us, why are you miking? Because there is no difference anymore.
He has experience, by the way, so he does know what he's talking about. Just saying.
I mean, my personal, I checked. I went back and forth. I recorded both at the same time. There was no difference. So in terms of caps, we're there. In terms of amps, I think we're there. But again, because you play it differently at different volumes and in the room at volume, it does behave differently.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they'll ever get that happening unless I think it's the way it amplifies. It's the way that the speaker in a cab reacts to tubes. There's a
impedance interaction,
reactive something happening, which you just have with tubes, which is why the Fryette power station is superior as an attenuator, not sponsored by Fryette, except that Stephen's a good guy. One of these good people. I don't know. Again, it's not quantifiable. It's not like you cannot say it's exactly this at 5 hertz. No. It's whatever, 5 hertz? 50. I know hertz. I know things. I don't know if the modelers will ever get there. And they don't have to, because you know what?
We have tube amps.
We have tube amps. Use those. Find out how to play it. Write the song. Record it with a modeler. And then you will put that feeling in there. But the amp will inspire you to do things that a modeler cannot. The modeler will give you the convenience to do it anywhere very easily without mics. And you can actually go on a cruise ship with all the sounds in the fractal and not have to carry tube amps. So I'm thinking there's a reason for both to exist.
Yeah.
And they are 99% the same. But there's still things that you would use the one for. I think for more inspiration, the tube amp, and then regurgitation, the
Let's not act like that 1% or however much it is isn't important. I think for us guitar players, the little nuances can be very important. That's why I think the pickups are important. On tone wood, for example, I want to play a guitar that feels great in my hands, that resonates in a certain way. I hate playing guitars that are dead, that don't resonate well.
Glenn always says it's not important. He means for him as an engineer, what he hears. But in order...
I wasn't talking about Glenn, by the way.
I am. But, hey Glenn, but what he hears, what he hears back. And he's right that most of the stuff is not really necessarily audible. In frequency response, whatever guitar you use through whatever gear and you change the guitar, the frequency response isn't going to change drastically. There isn't all of a sudden a big dip in the mids because you used another guitar. That's, of course, he's fully right. But in order to get a performance, to even be recorded, how it feels, how it resonates, how it vibrates, how long the note rings, it's not frequency response. That has something to do with resonance and the wood and all these things. Dynamics, for example, a speaker. He says everything's in the speaker. Frequency response is in the speaker. Dynamics, how the note evolves, has nothing to do with the speaker. The speaker regurgitates whatever the wood and the string does. So, in order to get the performance, you need all the stuff. The speaker replicates it then, and the speaker puts the most impact on it in terms of frequency response. How much low and mids and top is there, and what the balance of that is. So for Glenn, what he's saying is right. He's just really wrong. For everyone that's not Glenn.
All right. Following, name one or two of the best guitars you've ever owned or played. Don't think about it too long. Just
right now, Sully 71 Trella, mind blown. It's also pink. The three best guitars in my room right now is the 71 Trella, the Panucci Les Paul with P90s, It's an absolutely phenomenally fantastic guitar. And in a very different way, the Puma from Shabbat, which is a jazz mastery thing, and it absolutely isn't my kind of guitar. Because it's got the jazz mastered, mastery bridge tremolo, and the P90s. It's not I'm not an offset guy. In no way would that be one of my favorite guitars. However, 6 weeks and didn't play a single other guitar. It just is an absolute masterpiece. It rings beautifully. It's very flexible and stylistically, in terms of like the highest end shit that I've ever played, those 3 guitars rank up there.
Cool. Good answer. Okay, I know you've been to a desert island, but let's imagine a desert island. If you could keep 2 pedals on a desert island, which pedals would it be? Just 2 pedals.
Okay, I got a really funny answer. Okay, any delay pedal, because I like delays, because it makes you work less. Because I mean, a delay pedal honestly is an arranging tool. A delay pedal is not an effect. Because as soon as you add more notes, what you do in the delay adds more notes, right? You play one note and there's a second note, or maybe even more. That means you're actually adding notes to the arrangement. So technically, a delay is an arranging tool.
Are you saying that the Edge is lazy?
Oh, yes.
Okay. Yeah, because he's like, ting, 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 but you hear ticka, 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 ticka. That's what you mean.
He will not be the same player without a delay.
It's brilliant, by the way. I really...
His sounds can be had with the 2290p from TC Electronic, only at $349, using affiliate links at Toman that he'll soon have. No, that thing is brilliant. Yeah, if you take his delay away, he is not the same player. He doesn't even know how to play the parts that he plays with delay, because it adds the notes for him.
Yeah.
He would not know how to play that. Yeah, delay, cool. But once I have that delay, a volume pedal so I can turn everything off, because I'm a desert island. Why the fuck would I want to play with pedals? There's sand, beach, hopefully boobies, you know? I mean, they're, by the way, the worst kind of bees to be stung by. Boobies.
That's a dad joke. That's a dad joke, officially. Favorite amp modeler? Name one. Don't think about it too long. He still loves all of the brands, despite the answer.
That's really... honestly, I don't think about it too long. UA Lion.
Okay. Cool. I need to try it, because I haven't. Favorite string brand?
I've always played Dario. Then they dropped Meinl as a distributor after 30 years of working with them and went direct. And then nobody in Germany had support. Nobody knew anyone anymore, because Dario was like, let's make more money by going direct and by screwing over our friends at Meinl. And I was like, I don't like that. So I switched to Ernie Ball. Because the distributor likes me, and so I had Ernie Ball strings from Musik Meyer. Now Ernie Ball wants to screw over people by going direct. Now I'm working with the Dario again. So whatever strings you can get your hands on, good strings. Whatever strings that make you play at all are good strings. New strings.
Elixir.
No, the newest strings. Elixir,
the newest.
Elixir I never liked, actually.
I love Elixir.
Whatever strings are new and sound good.
Once you go Elixir, you never go Rixir. Sorry, that was bad. That's like worse than a dad joke. Okay, pedal platform, amp, single channel, or an amp that does it all?
There's no amp that does it all.
I mean, you know what I mean? Like a Swiss Army amp that does like clean crunch and 2 shades of high gain, or a very good clean pedal platform amplifier.
If you have a very good clean pedal platform amp, you're still not going to make it into a metal beast. You could get away with some high gain pedals.
Yeah.
But a high gain pedal in front of a pedal platform amp is still not going to be an engl Founders Edition or a Revv 120.
Founders Edition.
It's going to be an approximation of a metal sound.
Yeah.
But pedal platform amps, let's say Fender Deluxe Reverb or the Big Sky, they're 40 watt amps. But for the metal sound, the big chug, you want headroom. So you want why are these diezels in Mesas 150 watts? Not because you want the volume, you want that headroom. So the pedal platform amp is never, in a mix, you can get away and it's going to be fine. But it's when we talk about absolute perfection, for the high gain stuff, a high gain pedal and a great pedal platform amp is never going to be the same as a high gain amp that's meant to be a high gain amp. And you know what? A high gain amp with 5 channels, I've never heard a clean channel on a multi-channel amp that can rival a killer clean amp.
Like one of the best clean channels that I've ever played is on my Diezel VH2. Like that clean channel. Sometimes the high gain amps have great, and some engl amps as well. I mean, they have a certain flavor, like a certain sparkliness or something that.
But you're seeing it from a high gain guy. If
I like clean tones. I like my clean tones.
If I give you like my vintage style McMull Strat into the Tube Workshop 1-channel 14-watt amp, that's a clean channel that none of these other amps have. And I mean, I have all the other amps. That's just an experience that they don't do. Like that. I'll let you play my Tube Workshop amp. It's pretty impressive, but it does, you know, it's 14 watts and does one thing.
Yeah.
But it does that one thing extremely nice. So I think I'd rather, in terms of amps, I'd rather have an amp that does one thing, like the MVP66 from Morgan does the JTM.
Yeah.
And it does that amazingly. I'd rather have that than a JTM style channel in it, like the Revv 120 has a killer JTM style channel. But you know what? The Morgan's still going to smoke it when it comes to that. Yeah. So less channels, but have certain amps for certain uses.
Yeah.
Doesn't help you if you're on stage and you need everything at the same time. But then if you need everything at the same time, are you going to carry around an Engl Founders Edition and kill yourself every single time you do it? Or you're going to have a fractal system? Probably the fractal. I mean, so...
I get what you're saying. I guess that in terms of the schematics and stuff, the big amps, maybe they have to make some compromises internally as well in order to make all of that work. And perhaps, let's say a JTM45, I would imagine that the schematics are pretty simple, and that if you want to, you know, make a big amplifier with all the blah, 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 blah inside, that you're going to have to make some compromises that will make the tone perhaps a bit less pure, I guess. That's how the amp builders would probably say.
The one amp that I played that honestly could do it all convincingly was the Ampede Amp 1.
Okay. I didn't know they made amps.
And that is literally an amp that can do anything from the most amazing Fender cleans to the biggest extended range, lowest chug. Anything. That's one amp you could have, and you would never need another amp. It can literally do anything. Absolute brilliance. But that's the only thing that comes to mind where I would think that anything that it needs to do, it really does it on the highest level. Whereas, you know, for a clean, I would go to the Tone King Royalist or Sky King. And, you know, classic sounds to the MVP, Plexi sounds to the Friedman Plex. And then, I've got the Plex in perfection. And I want a high gain. I will go to the engl or the Revv.
Yeah.
Or the Lynx from Bad Cat. So I'd rather have specific tools for the job. Same way with cameras. No, people are looking for the perfect camera. Doesn't exist.
Yeah.
There's always a certain tool for the job that you use in a certain situation.
Yeah, I think I've never been like a pedal platform player, but I think it's kind of fascinating how some players are really like that. You know, I just need one good clean channel, and then they do an entire show or a record just with their pedals.
100% possible, unless you need high gain metal tones.
Well, there are some really good pedals out there these days that kind of do that.
But kind of.
Yeah.
Not in perfection.
I know. Yeah. It's not the same. But I mean, as a kid or, you know, somebody who starts out and maybe their dad has a cool, clean amplifier, and then instead of buying a big tube amp, they can put a pedal in front and kind of get that experience. It's a fun option to have. Let's say it like that. What sort of rig would you recommend to starting guitar players nowadays? If a student comes to you and says, "Yeah, I want a cool rig," what would you recommend?
The beginner guitar player doesn't know what a rig is. They don't need a rig. They need something that the parents can sell off once they don't play the thing anymore 3 months in, and haven't wasted a lot of money. I say this as someone who taught for 10 years. The Enya Nova Go Sonic, that guitar with the built-in speaker, is shit. So that speaker is horrible. Because it feeds back, because it has to feed back because it vibrates along with the guitar. And it's a pretty shit sound. But you know what? When you're starting out, the guitar's relatively lightweight, very ergonomic. The tuners work. You can get it off Amazon for $3.99, or right now from me for $2.99. It's probably already gone when you see this video. But it's a decent guitar, 2 humbuckers with built-in modeling sounds that come out of the speaker. But you can also plug in headphones. So for the parents, amazing. I don't remember if that has Bluetooth.
It's not very rebellious, but it's a fun...
It's not, but you can also not use the modeling sounds, which come out of headphones. Oh, it has Bluetooth because you can actually jam with a track through it, if you want to, and then also with headphones. So everything is included in the guitar for $3.99,
and it has humbuckers. Remember the old starter packs where you get, and they were like cheap, crappy Strats. They probably made
it has a gig bag with it. It's light for the kids. And for $3.99, you're getting a pretty solid guitar that, on the first day, you technically don't even need a cable. You don't need an amp. So if $3.99 is your budget, you've got everything to start. And what do you do in the beginning? You're playing some power chords. You're trying to get the C together, right? So 6 or 8 weeks in, when you barely can do that, maybe your birthday comes around, then you get a little modeling amp or something. But as a first guitar, without having to know much about anything else because it's all built in, and without annoying the parents because you can play with headphones, it's a really solid tool. And I would recommend that, because when you're done with it, and let's say the parents say, okay, you're not playing anywhere, we're selling the guitar. You sell one thing. And not a guitar with the cable and an amp, and you have to hear the starter pack guitar. I would recommend to my students to buy this, because as a guitar, it's pretty solid.
Yeah, I almost did a video, but in the end, they opted not to hire me. But they did hire Henning, and they also hired Dan from The Lonely Rocker, and he also did a great video, so check out their videos. Name a myth in the guitar world that you think is ridiculous.
Tone wood isn't real.
Totally. And we talked about that 2 hours ago. Name a couple of your favorite albums, as fast as you can.
First Bon Jovi album, probably favorite albums, I don't know, but mostly influential, Passion and Warfare.
Nice.
Obviously any Disney songs. Obviously Kermit singing The Rainbow Connection. That's amazing. I don't know if that's an album. Zakk Wylde, Book of Shadows. Thank you.
Okay, cool. Talking about Passion and Warfare, did you also, when the first time when you heard that album, were you also like, what the hell is this? Like, whoa.
No, because at that point I knew very little about guitar, and I just thought that's what guitar is.
Okay. Because I was in a used CD shop somewhere and put the headphones on. It was like, my mind was completely blown. It was pretty awesome experience.
I had no point of reference.
Nicest thing your viewers say.
We appreciate your honesty.
Okay. Nastiest things your viewers say. Something that you can actually say on a channel without getting...
I really don't like the way you dress. What's with the shirts? That was an ugly shirt. You know what? I have a fashion sense. I'm influential. I'm fashion forward. Think Paris Fashion Week and stuff. That's why I always do the runways. Like, I don't understand, like, just because they can't imagine that this is something that in several years everyone will wear, I have a vision, okay? I see where fashion goes, and I'm already there. And they're just narrow-minded, little penis people in the basement of their mom saying, what's with the shirts? We like the way you play, or, thank you for the honesty, but I don't agree with the shirt. I don't know why. And then there's one viewer who watches very, very rarely, who says, she lives across the street, and is married to me, and she says only 12-year-old girls should wear this stuff, and that hurts. It really hurts, and sometimes I go and cry about it. Okay, moving on.
I can't relate. I have a black shirt. Satriani or Vi?
Oh, that's mean. Satriani.
Really? Oh, cool. I mean, I like them both, but if I had to choose, I'd choose Vi.
Vi has stuff that's unlistenably horrible, just like Zappa had, because his mind is so hyper developed. He's just too brilliant and wants to show that sometimes. He just hears things that sometimes we don't understand. And Satriani is much, much more approachable.
Yeah, he's more rock and roll. Yeah.
He knows when a melody is enough.
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of like that experimental stuff that Vi does. And I also really like the organicness in his tone, whereas, Satriani is way more rock and roll with the licks and stuff, but it's a taste thing, of course. Okay, let your hair grow or wear normal, boring t-shirts for the rest of your life.
Boring t-shirts, because there isn't that much hair left. If that grows and I look in the mirror, I look old as fuck. So I don't want to be reminded of how old I actually am. So I'm going to have to go to boring t-shirts.
It's 34 isn't that old. Come on.
Yeah. 14 years ago.
Here's a dilemma. Dilemma. Every time you play a G sharp, you poop your pants a little bit. Or every time you play a B flat, you puke a little bit inside your mouth.
Okay, easy. For some reason, a lot of the stuff I play on the channel ends up to be an E. So I need the major third, which is a G sharp. So
I would go with the B flat because that's metal. An E and a B flat, that's the Black Sabbath interval,
See, I would like to puke when I play the B flat, right?
Yes.
Okay. So I like that because by playing the E major chords and everything, I'll never play B flat. And that would allow me to play the G sharp and not have to puke or poop. I just cannot do D minor or F or, E flat, or I like C minor, we had B flat in there. But I could stay with the E major / C sharp minor scale and avoid the B flat altogether.
Yeah. Fair.
And then I don't have to poop or puke.
But then you wouldn't be able to play E Lydian, which is a shame because that's a great scale. Anyway, I'm getting nerdy. The other John Brown had a question for you. So as a veteran in the YouTube guitar gear space, what is your opinion on how the space / community has evolved over the last decade? And where do you see it going the next 2, 5, 10 years?
Okay, the other John Brown. We have too many bald people that have to stop. There can only be a maximum of 3 bald people, and you can't be one of them. That's it.
Also, how and when exactly did you become a fashion icon?
I've always, I think, been one. Just now I have the notoriety and the influence to really actively, outwardly show that I've always known what makes people beautiful.
That was the other John Brown. Check out his channel, by the way.
Yeah, good.
Mendel asks.
Oh, no. If Mendel asks, where's the Wi-Fi? If that is his question, he can fucking fuck off. He's uninvited from Gearspeed, and I will take his phone, I will tie him up somewhere, I don't give a shit. If his question is, what about the Wi-Fi? And I know that is question. That is not right. Stop. I spent $1,500 to get Wi-Fi here. Good Wi-Fi, and it's still not going to be enough. That is his question. Read it.
There are 2 questions.
Right, of course you have 2 questions.
The first question is, how's the Wi-Fi?
The Wi-Fi is suck it, Mendel. Fucking suck it. Up your bum. That's the Wi-Fi.
Oh, my God. And the second question is the harmonic minor scale the best scale of all time, and why yes? That must be an inside joke as well.
Yeah, I don't know. The inside, oh God, there's this thing where I come into the room and he's doing a thing with John Brown And I point at John, and I'm like, oh, is that the room with the brown people? And he goes like, yeah, it is. Or something like that. Or you guys thing with brown people? And they made me look like a complete utter racist. And I was pointing at John. So, yeah, I'm glad he didn't bring that up. Yes, it is, of course, because, you know, metal, I can't make it work. Oh God, the Wi-Fi.
Okay. We have 3 questions left, and then you guys can finally turn off the video.
Then our animals can eat. What time is it?
Do you think there are still people here watching this video?
Probably not.
Better be.
You poor people.
Better be. So this has kind of been answered, but maybe you can do a witty, quick answer. Brian from the Baritone Ghost Studio, what piece of gear was the initial spark for you to start creating gear-related content? Was the compressor?
Which I never did. The actual was then the... What's that thing drive? Something drive. It's the OCD from Harley Benton, and I can never remember. Not Superior Drive, something.
Okay. If there was one, okay, yeah. Or was there a creator, video, demo, etc., that inspired you to do your own thing with gear?
Absolutely not. But I did watch other channels like Shane from In the Blues, Mike Herman's, Andy Martin from Pro Guitar Shop back then, some Anderton stuff. So Gearman Dude, where you only see the boots on the ground. A little bit of Tone King probably. Not for inspiration, I think. But those channels I watched, and just to get an idea of what these videos should be like.
Yeah. Okay. Robert Jackson, formerly known as Robert's Guitar Dungeon, I believe. And he doesn't say this jokingly, so I think this is like, but where do you buy your t-shirts?
MrGugu.com from Poland, and I don't buy them. I am endorsed. I don't get money. I don't get affiliate money. I get no financial gain, but I do not have to pay for the shirts or the pants or the hoodies, or I have shoes as well. So none of the stuff I pay for. Okay. So I say, oh, you got the new collection. I would like these shirts. And then 2 or 3 times a year, they sent me the new stuff, and I look like a 12-year-old girl.
I like the one with the bear six-pack.
That's actually my real chest.
Let's see. And then he continues, please explain the significance of the recurring table corner photo thing. Did you take a table corner in the nuts or something?
Did you take a table corner in the nuts? Okay, so that's easy. Instagram's stupid. Remember when Instagram used to be pictures?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, what's the point? People share pictures. Okay, usually they share pictures of, look how great my life is, and then the picture's over, and then life isn't great
then they
anymore.
cry.
But then everyone else thinks their life is so great.
Yeah.
But then people said you have to be on Instagram because otherwise you don't happen. So okay, apparently I had to, very late I started to do Instagram, and I thought it's dumb. Mm-hmm. I still think it's dumb because I do long form, as you can clearly tell, content about guitar stuff, and you can't do guitar reviews in real form in a minute. What I do, what you do, it's completely irrelevant, doesn't work in vertical format on Instagram. Yeah. We have to generate new content for Instagram. We have to do extra content that we don't really want to do for Instagram. So for the pictures, when it was pictures, I thought, I'm going to troll Instagram. I'm just going to make a joke out of it. Mm-hmm. And instead of, what's a selfie? Everyone with a selfie. Here's me with this person. Why is it to prove to people that we've met these people? That's an ego trip. We don't need to do this. It's just like you go on vacation, and instead of enjoying the view, you see the view through your camera. So what happens is, instead of taking in the moment, you try to take the moment in later through the picture, which never works. So I take very little pictures of anything anywhere. And the same thing with, instead of, oh, I'm here with this person, let's say hi, we'll take a selfie.
Yeah.
You just miss saying hi. You have 20 seconds with a celebrity, tell them you appreciate their work. Hey, can we take a selfie? Fuck that. Hey, I like that movie that you were in. That really inspired me, and thank you for that. Why not do that? No, we need proof that we were standing next to the celebrity and we bugged them. So, selfies to me are stupid. So instead of saying, I'm here at this table with Phil X and David Lee Roth, no, who's that guy that makes the amps, Dave Friedman. I take a picture of the table corner that we're sitting at, and I'm saying, I'm sitting here with Dave Friedman and Phil X, completely missing the opportunity to take a picture with them.
That's awesome.
And I just love doing that.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm here at the airport, table corner, flying there, table corner. And I might be sitting at a table with these and these and these people, but I commemorate the moments by taking a picture of the table corner and not showing that we're sitting there, proving that, not showing that I can take pictures with people in them called selfies. I just think they're stupid.
It would be great if people at concerts also would try to live in the moment a little bit more, because the filming the entire show.
Who wants to watch a cell phone video from a concert? It's you're never going to rewatch that yourself. You're going to post that somewhere so that someone gets a shitty version of an overexposed crap pic.
Yeah.
It's so sad that bands have to say cell phones not allowed.
Yeah. It's annoying.
People should just not. When I go somewhere, when we go on vacation, I take 0 cameras. I take my phone, and I take a few pictures, if that, because I'd rather enjoy the moments instead of looking at the moments through a camera.
Yeah.
Says someone, by the way, and it's not hypocritical, who owns about 50 cameras. But sometimes just enjoy the moment.
Just don't complain. Sorry, nothing. Don't complain to me anymore about owning 65 amplifiers for the same reason.
Well, that's different. See, the cameras are to make the videos. You could make a video with 1 amp in it and people would still watch.
I can also make one video with 65 amplifiers, which would take 3 weeks, and which I've kind of done in the past. Oh my gosh. Okay, one more question, and this is kind of kind of a serious question, but maybe you can make it non-serious. Dan, the Lonely Rocker, how has your relationship or feelings about YouTube evolved over the years as a platform? And how about your relationship with different brands you feature in videos? Have their expectations changed over the years?
The YouTube platform, that's a love and hate relationship, because most of us are not on a level where YouTube talks to us. So if anything happens to the channel, I got nobody to call. We're not relevant to them. Now, Carlos, our friend with 4 million subscribers, he actually gets to go to YouTube conventions and gets invited. And they roll out beta versions of stuff, and they ask him because he's important. We have no connection there. So whatever they choose to do, it doesn't matter if I like it or not. It's completely irrelevant. Getting pissed off about it, they don't have a helpline. They don't have an email that I can, they might have an email thing that I can write to, but there's no communication between YouTube and us as a community other than Carlos, because he's big enough, maybe Paul Davids, but they look at bigger creators than us. So whether or not I like the new feature, irrelevant. If they say tomorrow, oh, by the way, we don't want to pay anymore, they could do that.
Yeah.
And there's nothing we can do about it. They can, whatever rules they do about monetization, not monetization, how many ads. At some point, they all of a sudden decided, oh, now videos with less than blah, blah, blah can have ads in it. And they put way too many ads in 2,000 of my videos because they did it retroactively for the whole channel. And you couldn't turn it off. I would have to now go manually into every single video and remove all those ads. There's nothing I can do about it. I can only, on new ads, because I want about 15 ads in one of my videos, I can go in and I take them all out and only leave 2. But they want all these in there. I can edit that. But for all the old videos, I got no say. So how did it change? It changed a lot. Can I do anything about it? No. So should I get pissed off about it? No. Something about, isn't that don't get pissed off about things you cannot change, 10-step program, something about AA? I don't know. They say these things. And then relationship with brands, it changes all the time. Many brands I've worked with don't even talk to me anymore. Some brands that work with me, I don't talk to anymore. Goes both ways. depending on what it is. I found out some things about some people. I stepped away. To some brands, I got too expensive. They stepped away. I worked a lot with Joyo, and I stepped away, and I got paid monthly. And I stepped away from that relationship because they kept cloning pedals of companies I was working with. And I said, don't clone the pedal from my friends. Well, I can't work with you anymore. They cloned the pedal from my friends, so I couldn't work with them anymore. It changes. Nobody's talking to Marshall. Marshall isn't talking to anyone. I make a video about, hey, Marshall is going to fail. All of a sudden, I have a 2-hour conversation with the head of marketing for Marshall. And now I'm going to England to visit the factory. Is that in a relationship? Who knows? So, things change. Maybe other companies are coming back. But as you know, Dan, and as you know, we continuously have to stay at it. Emails, FaceTime, Skype, WhatsApp, Facebook Messenger, Instagram Messenger, Telegram. I don't know. Does anyone do Telegram?
Fax.
Fax.
Fire with the smoke signals.
Good old phone conversation. All of it has to be open. We continuously have to start working on new relationships with companies because some other companies are going away completely. Relationships are going away. Marketing teams change. I'm going to make a little rant video about the industry, brand loyalties. It's never about loyalty to a brand. We have zero loyalty to a brand as customers or as YouTubers. We only have loyalties to people. Maybe you should do that tomorrow with a coffee on the balcony. Do that together.
Okay.
Because brand loyalty is the dumbest shit ever. Brand loyalty to Gibson. Or let's say brand loyalty to Marshall. Oh, I love my Marshalls. That's fine. But the loyalty is to the logo. And that's stupid. Don't have loyalty to a logo. You liked your Marshalls, which is totally fine. You bought them in the 80s. So that your loyalty should be to whoever designed these amps, then built them, then maybe marketed them. Okay, but that's who made that amp. So if you now want to be loyal to someone, be loyal to the team that created that amp. Now, if that team, as we know, moved to Blackstar, why would you continue buying Marshall amps where there's a new factory, no one is there past 2020, it's completely new people. So your loyalty to the logo Marshall is to a logo with everyone behind it, doesn't know you, doesn't owe you anything because you didn't buy their amp, has a totally different design philosophy, different philosophy on quality, and are different people. So your loyalty is to a brand, which is now a completely different brand.
In all fairness, we have a very cool keychain thing at home where you put the jacks in. I like that thing. It's probably not even made by Marshall. It's probably made by some Chinese.
I have that from Engl.
I saw it. That's pretty cool.
I have the Engl one. But the thing is, I love the people from Engl. If they all go away and start a new company, is my loyalty to the Engl logo and whatever crap the new people do? Or do I say, Jürgen and the guys went to a different company. I'm now loyal to that company. It should never be I'm loyal to Fender, Gibson, Marshall, Revv, whatever. It should be loyalty to the people from that. Let's say I love AKG microphones. They're the best microphones in the world. Would you nowadays still buy an AKG mic? Knowing that everyone in the company left, have you heard anything from AKG? Who's even making them? That is now Austrian Audio and Lewitt. They are the AKG people. So if you loved AKG mics, your loyalty now should have moved on to Austrian Audio, primarily for the headphones. They also make good mics, but for mics, definitely to Lewitt. If you want to show your loyalty to the brand AKG, what you should be buying is Lewitt. Your loyalty should never be to the logo or to the brand name, but to the people behind it. If you loved old Gibsons, then why the hell aren't you buying heritage guitars? Because they're made where the Gibsons were made. They're on the same machines. Some of the staff, of course, have changed logo, of course, because they're dead. But nobody wants to buy heritage, let's pause. It's all Gibson, 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 when in reality, not a single person in management or manufacturing or even location of the factory is where the Gibson guitars that made history were made. Those guitars have literally nothing to do, not in the slightest. The wood delivery, the wood supplier is from somewhere else. It is new people in design. It's new machines. It is new man. Everything. Nothing with today's Gibson has anything to do with the old guitars that we treasure and love that made history. So why in the world would you buy from a company where the only thing that stayed is the logo on the building? The philosophy, the heritage. These people weren't alive then. They didn't grow up with it. They didn't design it. They have nothing to do with what we think of when we think of Gibson and what it stands for. And the same thing with Marshall and these companies. I think these companies would have to earn our trust. And they don't. They rest on it because we have the logo. So I'm thinking, let's make that video tomorrow morning.
This was a good rehearsal.
Yeah. Brand loyalty should be, and it's very easy to find out where the people are now. Wait, I loved Marshall in the 80s. Well, find out who the people were. Are they now with Victory? Because they have some people from Marshall. Definitely Blackstar.
Mm-hmm.
So
Scuffum? Like
yeah,
plug-in?
yeah, yeah. So maybe look into those products if you really want to show loyalty to the people that created the product that means so much to you. Because you know what? That logo never made anything. That logo didn't produce something. That logo didn't design anything. At Marshall, that company now is completely new. And they're going to have to prove to us completely from scratch what they can do and what they're capable of with new designers and everything. They're going to have to put that magic back into that logo because right now that logo means nothing. And the same thing with Gibson. And with Fender, I don't know. Not the same situation there. But I think brand loyalty is really dumb. And guitar players are the dumbest people when it comes to brand loyalty. They're very much like, I only buy that brand.
Mm-hmm. Mr. Boogie.
It's yeah.
Or whatever. Yeah.
Mr. Boogie is now owned by Gibson.
I know. Yeah, but this is going like we could go on for.
Yeah, let's stop that. Let's to feed the dogs. I'm done.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, Henning. Thank you for doing this, and for everybody still here, respect. But this was interesting, so yeah, I enjoyed it.
Sorry, it went. I get excited.
Bye.
Bye.
We love you.
I don't know you.